Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, today we will start on a new chapter that is related to Islamic banking. We have discussed different types of banks, different type of financial institutions, and also the central and commercial banks. But when we talk about Islamic Bank, so Islamic Bank is a concept which is based on Islamic Sharia. As we know that banking are the services in which the banking institute collect funds from the people and lend into the people for who can use it for their business, personal, and any other use. Main function of bank is to facilitate transfer of funds. But when if we look at in our conventional banking system, the main instrument of the this conversion and this transfer is the interest. The bank will charge interest, which is actually prohibited in Islam, and that's the main reason that majority of Muslim people don't want to indulge in conventional banking activities. This has made quite a problem for the economy. So in order to channelize the economy, it's very important that all these people who are reluctant to enter into the banking streamline, they should come and take part in that, and their unused funds or idle funds should be utilized in the best interest of the country. So in this case, the Islamic banking concept was introduced. The main Islamic the main emphasis of this system is to make the all the banking transaction Sharia compliant. That there should be according to rules and regulations given by in our Sharia, and all obviously Sharia is given by Allah, and all the other things are derived from many Islamic books and many Islamic practices which has begun in the previous period. So Islamic banking actually refers to Islamic finance or Sharia compliant finance, which refers to finance or banking activities that actually is adherent to Sharia law, and it makes a profit through equity participation, which requires borrower to give the bank a share in their profit rather than paying interest. So over here the main instrument would be profit, not interest. Importance of trade in Islam. Islam has given very immense importance to trade, and obviously trade related activities, and there is actually barakat in different trade related activity, but obviously it should be done with honesty and not harming to any other person. And the nobility of this profession is obvious from the fact that it was the chosen profession of our last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So in Islamic banking, it is taken into account that rather than we only talk about taking lending of money and giving of money, we should indulge certain trade activities in this, which will actually decrease the decrease the use of interest, or actually most of the time it can eliminate the concept of interest. There is a general question that why not the conventional banking, why not the conventional banking practices are not acceptable, and why we are shifting toward Islamic banking. So before discussing this concept, why Islamic banking, it's very important that we should understand that what is Islamic banking, and then after that we will be in condition to elaborate the concept of why Islamic banking. So when we talk about Islam is a complete code of life that guides our providence regarding each aspect of life. even it's your marital status, relationship, even it's friendship, even it's a business, even it's any other thing. So Islam has given us guidance in each and every aspects. Obviously, and when we talk about the different financial aspects, so why we can say, we can think of a think that this concept, this aspect would be ignored. We have different concept, we have different guidance regarding the financial aspects of our life. So we have to follow those Islamic concept which is given in Sharia and in Quran Pak. So the Islamic banking concepts are actually based upon these, all these principles which is given by Allah. What is Islamic banking? When we talk about what is Islamic banking, so Islamic banking actually is actually all the banking system which is on in consonance. Consonance means accordance with the ethos. When we talk about ethos, ethos is actually a Greek word which means character, and it is actually used to describe guiding beliefs or ideas that characterize a community, nation, or ideology. And value system, that what should we value and what should be the importance in Islam. It is actually Islamic banking is in consonance with the ethos and value system of Islam, and governed in addition to conventional good governance and risk management rules. Good governance means like when you have money, so how you can use that money. And risk management means in order to decrease risk, because when we are dealing with financial matters, or when we are dealing with certain financial transactions and money, we are mostly talking about money. So obviously there are certain risks involved in that. So it is actually based on the good governance and risk management rules by the principles laid down by Islamic Sharia. So all these rules, good governance, risk management practices are actually are being developed according to the rules and principles of Islamic Sharia. Now, what is riba? Riba actually is a loan with the condition that borrower will return to the lender more than and better than the quality borrowed. There are when mostly when we talk about riba, so we can say that riba is actually an interest. But in Islamic concept, when we are exchanging something of lower quality, and want to have in exchange a better quality, so the additional better quality which is not are actually right, so that is actually called as riba. So in Islamic banking, this riba is prohibited. And this in overall Islam as well, riba is prohibited. But in conventional banking system, interest is used, and it is one kind of riba. Quran verses on riba. Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 275. Those who endeavor usury will not stand except as stand one whom the Satan by his touch has driven to madness. That is because they say trade is like usury, but Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden usury. In another verse, Allah will deprive usury of all blessing and will give increase for deeds of charity, and for he does not love any ungrateful sinner. So these are the verses from Surah Baqarah. And if we see that riba is strictly prohibited in Islam. Islam has favored trade, and Islam have given barakat in trade. It have, but the usury or interest is actually there is no barakat in that. And obviously in another verse, Allah Ta'ala is saying that we should do charity of deeds of charity, and we should help our brothers and sisters. But riba is prohibited in Islam. So based upon all these basic ideas, we can say that why Islamic banking now. So the primary objective of Islamic economic system, because Islam has given guidance regarding every aspect, and Islam has also given us guidance regarding the whole economic system of a country. So the main objective of Islamic economic system is that there should be an equal distribution of wealth, that there would be no very wealthy peoples and very poor people. The distribution of wealth would be equal among all the participants of the community of or the economic system of that in that country or that area. And there should be a social justice, that each and every person should have all the opportunities, and they should be socially satisfied. There should be no dissatisfaction among people. They should get their equal right, whether it's a right towards education, and whether it's right towards occupation, whether it's right towards food, right towards health facilities. So if all the people in the society will get their due rights regarding each and every aspect, so there would be a satisfaction in the community, and this will help to get best results from the people living in that community. So these objectives, like equal distribution of wealth and social justice, can never be achieved in interest riba based economic system, that is called as the conventional banking system is actually a capitalistic economic concept. And if we see that when they give you loan, you have to pay interest regardless that the person is gaining profit, or he's getting worse, or his business is not doing well. He is bound to pay interest, and this interest will accumulate day by day, and actually deprive that people who is already in a bad condition of bad business conditions. So in this case, the objective of equal distribution of wealth and social justice could not be achieved. So this can only be done with the help of Islamic principles, which is given by Allah, and because Allah is the creator of this universe, and those principles given by Allah would be better off as compared to these man-made principles. Now we can study some of the differences between Islamic and conventional banking. First of all, when we talk about Islamic banking, so financial functions and operations are based on Sharia principle. Like all the functions and all the operations, all the guidance and all the instructions, all are under the guiding principles of Sharia. But on the other hand, when we talk about conventional banking, so all the functions and operations are based on full man-made principle. So obviously Sharia is given by Allah, but and Islamic banking is based on Sharia. But conventional banking systems are operations are based on man-made principles. So obviously Islamic banking principles would be better than conventional banking system. Secondly, the Islamic banking promote risk sharing between borrowers of capital, who is the investor, and users of the fund who are entrepreneurs. There is a risk factor, that obviously when you are starting your business, there is chances of success and failures. Majority of time, in certain cases, there are more chances of failure and less chances of success, and in other case there are many cases where you have more chances of success. So all these risks factors are there when you start your business. So in Islamic banking, this risk would be shared equally by the investor and by the entrepreneur. Investor is the person who is giving money, and an entrepreneur is the person who is using that money for doing business. But in case of conventional banking system, investor is assured of predetermined rate of interest. He is not concerned with the success and failure of the business. He is only his only interest is that he will get a certain amount of predetermined interest, and he's concerned with that, whether the government the entrepreneur will be successful, or whether he is a failure, or whether his business is going consistently down. He is not concerned with that. He will get his interest at any cost. Then the Islamic banking principles are have aim to maximize profit, but subject to Sharia restrictions, because the sources of funds should be identified, and there should be a profit which should not harm any other aspect of the society, and all those things. You should not indulge in activities or kind of businesses which is haram in Islam. So there is a concept of maximization of profit in Islamic Sharia, but there are certain restriction that what type of activities should not be involved in all these profit maximization or activities or aims. But in case of conventional banking system, aim at maximizing profit without any restriction. They don't see that in which kind of business the investor is investing in, whether all these money is coming purely from profit or any other illegal activities and all those things. They are only concerned with getting the amount of interest they have determined at the start, and not after that. They are not concerned whether this money is coming from the business or any other activities. So in this comparison, the obviously Islamic banking principles are better. Now, in Islamic banking, there are different types of relationship between the investors and the people who have taken money, and that relationship might be partners. And different, we will discuss different modes of Islamic finance, so you can understand in that time that how these different relationships would be developed. Like in some cases, there would be partners, or there would be investor and traders relationship, or a buyer or seller relationship. So different kinds of relationship would be pursued in Islamic banking. But in case of conventional banking, there is only one relationship, that is a creditor and debtor relationship. There is one person who is giving money, and the other person who is getting money. So the debtor and creditor relationship would only be there. And in Islamic banking, it encourage asset-based financing, and mostly based on commodity trading, because we are not using money as a medium of exchange. We are converting money into certain asset, and then after that financing of these asset and trading of these commodities would be used for further activities. But in conventional banking system, based on it is actually based on money trading. Money is a medium of exchange and not a commodity, and its sale and purchase is prohibited in Islam. Like, you cannot take extra money upon giving you on any amount of money, or you cannot take a cost of utilization of your money. So because it is prohibited in Islam, but that's what has happened in a conventional banking system. Then in Islamic banking, no right of profit if there is no risk involved. The profit and loss sharing depositor may lose money in case of loss. So obviously, if though both parties are putting their efforts, one party is putting its money and the other party is putting its effort, physical efforts. So in both cases, if there is a profit, the parties will share, and if there are losses, the losses will also be shared. So there would be unequal participation of risk and profits. But when we talk about conventional banking system, it is almost risk-free banking, and a depositor has no risk of losing its money because interest is guaranteed. Where the interest is already determined in the terms and condition of the loan, so he is not and you don't have any worries about losing any type of money because his interest is guaranteed. As from the previous discussion, we can understand that Islamic banking system is better than the conventional banking system. And another thing which is very important for Pakistan is that Pakistan is came into being because they want to live life according to the Islamic principles and laws. So it's very important that we should adopt Islamic banking system rather than any conventional banking system in our economy. And based upon that, from 1947 to 1960, many efforts were done for the elimination of interest, and many scholars were engaged in these activities. But because of the low backing from the government and low interest of the government, no practical step should be taken. But in from 1960 to 1977, certain recommendations were made by the Islamic Ideology Council to the government, and from 1977 to 1980, certain concrete steps were taken for removing of interest from the economy. Then in February 1979, operation of ICP, NIT, and HBFC, these are three major financial institutions, were target for elimination of interest. And another initiative which was taken was that directed of opening PLS account in all commercial banks. Then in 1980, Mudarba Ordinance was issued, according to which Mudaraba companies were established. Actually, Mudaraba companies are Mudaraba is actually a mode of finance in which the one party will come up with money and the other party will come up with their skills, and these both will be combined, and the business would be started. So these Mudarba companies obviously were formed to finance those entrepreneurs who want money, but they have skills, but they are lack of financing. So these Mudarba companies were established. Then on July 1, 1984, State Bank of Pakistan directs all commercial banks and financial institutions to convert their operation on non-interest basis.